It's so right, it must be wrong. It's so right, it must be wrong. This feeling never felt so strong. It's so right, it must be wrong. Ah, it's so right, it must be wrong.
Hi, my name is Amanda Brown. Welcome to Creator Sessions. We're going to play some music for you.
This feeling never felt so strong. It's so right, it must be wrong. Yeah.
We have had so many different type of artists on Creator Sessions. We've had the established artists, the emerging artists, and even a few artists who are still working in the service industry as they're chasing their dreams. And this week we get to add to that list. If you're a fan of The Voice, you will probably remember Amanda Brown from season 3. It would be impossible to forget her cover of Aerosmith's Dream On. If you've not seen it, it's linked below. But I would argue that it was one of the show's most memorable performances. But I want to take a moment to talk about why I wanted Amanda to join us on Creator Sessions, and outside of her just being an incredible musician. She has been the backup vocalist for arguably the greatest artists of all time. That list includes Stevie Wonder, Adele, Alicia Keys, Tori Kelly, Michael Bolton, and even Jennifer Hudson, and that is only to name a few. And she's been traveling around the world on some of the biggest stages, supporting the greatest voices of our time. But she's been ready to explore her own voice for some time, and writing was really the thing that has started to bridge that gap for her. This Creator Session is really about that journey, and there are so many good lessons and good music that come with it. Let us know what your favorite moments are in the comment section.
The first song we're going to play is an original song of mine. It's called From Here. Heaven sent holy love, or a waste of time, holding back, falling in, selling truth for lies. Can't keep doing this anymore. Oh no, no. Promises make no sense when you're out of time, wide awake, fast asleep as we walk the line. Can't keep doing this anymore. Oh, where do we go from here? Been standing still for years. I just wanna wake up, don't know how to save us. I just wanna hold you, taste you, love you. Where do we go from here? Been standing still for years. I just wanna wake up, don't know how to save us. I just wanna hold you, taste you, love you. Separate ways, should we stay? Are we meant to be? It gets quiet, but you and I, we've got history. Can't keep doing this anymore. I'm so stuck here again. Yeah, I'm such a mess. False alarms in my head. Is it over yet? Can't keep doing this anymore. Oh, where do we go from here? Been standing still for years. I just wanna wake up. Don't know how to save us. I just wanna hold you, taste you, love you. Where do we go from here? Been standing still for years. I just wanna wake up. Don't know how to save us. I just wanna hold you, taste you, love you. So that song is actually a song that I released fairly recently. It's my most recent single. And I would say that my entire career as a vocalist and songwriter and artist has kind of led me to this one song. I've been trying to write this one song for years. I wouldn't say necessarily in terms of the subject matter, but just in terms of how honest I was. On this song, I was in a relationship for a long time, and maybe about 6 years, and I sort of had reached this crossroads, and I was really, really tired on the day of the session. My manager booked a session with me and Jessica Vaughn and Keith Varon, who I wrote the song with. And I was on tour at the time, and there was a whole bunch of stuff happening, that week that I was here in LA to write this song. And I came into the session, and I think the combination of the tiredness and my frustration with the relationship that I had been in sort of all culminated in, me just saying what was on my mind. And I think it worked out for the best, because I ended up being completely honest and completely myself, and not caring as much about what people would think specifically about what I was saying about this particular relationship. And yeah, I think it turned out to be my best song to date, in my opinion. I don't know. I like it. But yeah, I would just say that it was a great lesson for me, because I learned to be unapologetically myself and honest in my music, which I hadn't necessarily been 100% prior to writing this song. I was always kind of holding a little bit back, I think, in terms of my lyrics and my songwriting. And this song showed me that I can be honest and still write a great song, and write a song that I'm proud of. And yeah, so be honest. Be honest, kids. We're gonna write. I'm sorry, not we're gonna write. We're going to play another song for you guys. It's called "No Good." Picture perfect friend, loyalty determined, but you don't know what goes on inside my head. And I don't know that I'll be there in the end. So have a drink and then let's have a drink again. And then you'll see what goes on inside my head. I might be no longer a perfect friend. Don't be sad, there's nothing you could do. I'm just bad and no good for you. with a kiss goodbye. Another longing sigh, and that is all. Sad to say we've reached the end. Once we're tall, but now we're falling. Don't be sad, there's nothing you could do. I'm just bad and no good for you. I'm just bad and no good for you. And no good for you. Somewhere down the road, shelter from the cold, and I may be better than I've ever been. We will see if I'm picture perfect then. Oh, don't be sad, there's nothing you could do. I'm just bad and no good for you. Don't be sad, there's nothing you could do. I'm just bad and no good for you. Love a shaker. Emmett doesn't necessarily like me always playing that shaker because he says, just as long as you keep the time, just keep the time. Yeah, so that song, God, that was a song that I wrote a really long time ago. It's so interesting when I listen to, not necessarily listen, but just play some of the songs that I wrote years ago, and I just listen to the songwriter that I was when I wrote those songs. I'm just like, all right, I'm getting a little bit better as time goes on. Just gotta keep at it. And my lyrics, my songwriting slowly improving. But that song was a song that I also wrote. All of my songs, by the way, I write about my lovers and my boyfriends and my exes. That's who I am, my lovers. That's just who I am, I guess. I'm a very sort of like confessional songwriter. My way of processing a lot of my life experiences are by way of me writing a song. It helps me deal with the emotions and the reality of the moment. And so that song was a song that I also wrote about an ex-boyfriend who would kind of always tell me, just like, oh yeah, you're so great. I'm terrible for you. I don't know why you're with me. I'm such a bad guy. And I would hear it so frequently that I was just like, one day I'm gonna write a song about this guy. And so this song is sort of from the perspective of, my ex-boyfriend. I needed a way to kind of deal with the negative emotions that I was feeling. And now when I sing this song, I almost feel like it's a little cheeky when I was like, I'm just bad and no good for you. You're right. Sayonara. Yeah, so on to brighter and more positive things. I do have a lot of songs that are about sad relationship experiences, but this next song is actually a more positive one, and it's called So Right. I've always been such a mess, always failing those tests. But you put that to rest the first night. There was no turning back. The road faded to black. It was just us, and that was just right. It's so right, it must be wrong. It's so right, it must be wrong. This feeling never felt so strong. It's so right, it must be wrong. Yeah. Makes us feel like we're thieves, steal the salt from the sea, take the wind from the trees for our own. We can outshine the light, we can outcool the night. It cuts deep and right to my soul. It's so right, it must be wrong. It's so right, it must be wrong. This feeling never felt so strong. It's so right, it must be wrong. Yeah. Maybe it's just love and name. Maybe we're just playing games, but we don't feel the same. No, we don't feel the same. It's so right, it must be wrong. It's so right, it must be wrong. This feeling never felt so strong. It's so right, it must be wrong. Ah, it's so right, it must be wrong. Oh, it's so right, it must be wrong. This feeling never felt so strong. It's so right, it must be wrong. Yeah. Emmett O'Malley on guitar. Gotta love this guy. Man, I also haven't. It's so interesting because this past year has taught me a lot, I think, about what it means to be a songwriter and what it means to be a performer, especially since so much of live performing, which is how I've made a living for the past 12, 13 years of my life, has taken on a new shape and a new form. And, I've made a living touring all over the world and have had the fortunate opportunity of being able to perform, as a backing vocalist for some of the greatest, artists in this country and also abroad. And so it was very, very difficult to accept the fact that I wasn't going to be hopping on a plane and walking on stage to perform for an audience of people that were right there, so close that I could touch them, And one of the beautiful parts, I think, of this past year has, for me, been reconnecting with some of my songs and reconnecting with my music in a way, especially with this guy. We've been spending a lot of time together, you know, making music and reconnecting with songs like Emmett's telling me to wrap it up. I do have a tendency to be long-winded, but I've found the opportunity to, you know, reconnect with some of my music, and it's been a really beautiful experience because I've connected with it just for me, not necessarily, you know, in preparation for a show or in preparation for a tour, but just being able to connect to my songs because, you know, I like creating music and because I like singing and not necessarily having any kind of deadline. And that last song was, you know, a song that's about love that is so magical that it's almost, you know, unrealistically too good to be true, as the chorus states. And yeah, it's one of my favorite songs because we always play it on acoustic guitar, and it's like very intimate and pretty and soulful, and yeah. This next song, not so intimate, not so pretty, but also about an ex-boyfriend. It's called The Wild. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's nothing to see here in the waste. There's nothing to eat, I still got the taste. It gives me the chills, it gives me the shakes, and an itch that won't go away. Into the wild and out of the blue, you crept into my heart with promises new. As soon as it starts, you tell me you're through. For a second you had me fooled. Such a pity, that's what you say. Hey, you made me go with my heart, but I ain't go with your mind. Just close your eyes and it's me you'll find. You got your freedom, I got it too. Like a mad dog without any rules. I wish I could say I'm who you once knew. Well, I could, it just wouldn't be true. Free from the ties, free from the shame, free from the lies that were keeping me tame. Here you won't find me using my name, 'cause in the wild nothing stays the same. Such a pity, that's what you say. Hey, you made me go with my heart, but I ain't go with your mind. Just close your eyes and it's me you'll find. Hey, you made me go with my heart, so then I guess you won't mind if I get mine and leave you behind. Yeah. All is fair play between you and me. Say hello to the beast you set free. Yeah. Such a pity, that's what you say. Hey, you made me go with my heart, but I ain't go with your mind. Just close your eyes and it's me you'll find. Hey, you made me go with my heart, so then I guess you won't mind if I get mine and leave you behind. I'm so accustomed to singing that song standing up. Like it's a song that like when I usually play, I'm like running around the stage. And so man, God, why did I write some difficult songs to sit and sing? That last song was a song that was from my debut album, Dirty Water, and it was God. That whole experience was so wonderful because it was my first time endeavoring to write a solo project, and I wrote a number of those songs that are on the album over the course of like maybe 2.5 to 3 years while I was traveling on the road. So I was actually doing the virtual songwriting sessions before this past year, now that they're a thing. I was doing like Zoom writing sessions while I was away on the road. That one song, believe it or not, actually that one song was a song that I wrote with with an ex-boyfriend. What is wrong with me? That's a song that I wrote with an ex-boyfriend. He wasn't my ex-boyfriend when I wrote it, but it's so funny because it's a song that I wrote with my ex-boyfriend when we were together about an ex-boyfriend. Hilarious. God, one day I'm gonna write a book. But yeah, so that song was, about an ex, but it was a wonderful learning experience for me because I had never endeavored to write a solo album. And prior to that, it felt a bit daunting, It felt like, oh God, how am I going to do that? I don't have necessarily experience in the studio. I don't have experience, doing writing sessions with other writers. At that time, I had sort of mainly been a backing vocalist. And when I decided that I wanted to explore the idea of songwriting for myself, I was very scared. I never really believed in myself, to be 100% honest. I kind of pursued songwriting while also singing backgrounds for other people soon after, working with Alicia. And I kind of just kept sort of banging the nail down with a hammer little by little. There came a point, and I would say that that's in my most recent songs, where I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this and I can actually be good at this. But it took a long time for me to, kind of really believe in myself. There are so many artists that I admire and that I look up to who are incredible songwriters. And for a long time, I think I just beat myself down because I was constantly comparing myself to other people. And with this recent EP, I think I just finally was able to sit with myself and say like, okay, yes, you've had all these incredible experiences and you've worked with amazing artists who are doing wonderful things and writing great music. And you can do that too. And you just have to keep kind of like hammering away at that little songwriting nail and keep trying, and you get better and better. And I think that is kind of what it's all about. Whether or not I go back and listen to some of those songs now and I'm like, I wish I had done that thing differently, or I wish I hadn't done that thing. It's always going to be a project for me that I'm extremely proud of because I forced myself to finish it and to be as honest as I was willing to be at that time. I was still a little, I think that as a songwriter, when I originally endeavored to write that project, I was a little scared about being too honest because I was a bit fearful of what, certain people in my life were going to think about some of the songs that I was releasing. But now that I've done it, looking back, I'm just like, oh man, I wish that I had been even more honest and even more open about my experiences, because in my experience, that those are the songs that people connect to, and those are the songs that people can relate to. I heard this amazing quote. I'm obsessed with Joni Mitchell, and I was watching Joni Mitchell, and she said something on this video that I was watching, which is, if you listen to my songs and you see me, then, there's an issue. I'm paraphrasing. Then, that's problematic. But if you listen to my songs and you see yourself, then, that's what art and music is all about. And for me, I wanted to be able to, see myself in these songs and not just write songs because, my manager says this is going to be the hit or this is going to be, syncable, but write songs that, I could connect to. And in my experience, those are the songs that other people are able to connect to too.
I did a little research and found that quote from Joni Mitchell. Here is what she said. The trick is, if you listen to that music and you see me, you're not getting anything out of it. If you listen to that music and you see yourself, it'll probably make you cry and you'll learn something about yourself. And now you're getting something out of it. I can see why Amanda connected so deeply to that comment, but more importantly, I can see how she's applied that to her writing, and especially with her next song, which is my personal favorite from the set. I have loved this session so much because I feel like you really get to see what the journey looks like for most artists today. Not everyone is catapulted to the top of the charts, even after an appearance on The Voice, and every person's journey looks vastly different. For Amanda, it was about supporting other voices until she was ready to stop comparing herself to others and be honest about what she really wanted to say. To close us out, here's Amanda Brown performing Dirty Liar, her most honest and vulnerable song yet.
So this last song that we're gonna play is a song that I actually haven't released yet. It's from my forthcoming project, my forthcoming EP. It's called Dirty Liar, and originally I wrote it with Shauna Beasley and Kyle McCammon, actually out here in LA. Two songwriters that I had never written with before, and I was just really frustrated with a particular situation that I was in and how that situation translated to a friendship that I had, or a few friendships that I had, in which I felt betrayed. And it's so interesting because, over this past year, I've been revisiting some of those songs that I wrote before, we were all sort of kind of stuck in our homes. And this song kind of took on an entirely new meaning for me with everything that's been going on with a socioeconomic climate in this country and abroad as well. And I just wanted this song to be a statement. I wanted to make a statement about how I feel about what's going on specifically within, the Black and Asian and Indigenous communities. I kind of steered clear, I think, of that for the most part, in terms of my songwriting. And this is the one song where I feel like I'm taking a little bit more of a stance about how I feel about things that are going on in this country. And it's scary, when you talk politics, it's very scary because people are very, very passionate. But I feel like this is a song that is important to me, and a song that I need to express, my feelings about what's going on. I think for me, my artistry has always been about trying to get closer and closer to the truth. And, when I first started as a songwriter, I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. I can write songs about lovers and write songs about, my exes, but not be too specific because, you're private, Amanda. But I think for me now, what I realize about the music that I create is that I want to be as honest as possible. And the way that I get to that point is kind of by digging a little bit deeper and getting to the truth of what it is that I'm feeling, whether or not it's pretty or not. And, that's something that I definitely have struggled with in the past, this idea of, oh, you have to be put together and you have to be perfect all the time and you have to sound amazing all the time. As a backing vocalist, you kind of got to be on it. You make a mistake and everybody on stage turns to you what was that note, So I think that my background as a backing vocalist has sort of helped to inform some of my songwriting, not in the most positive way at times, because I do have to sort of shed that weight of perfectionism when it comes to songwriting. But I think it's also been great in that I've had the opportunity to tour with some incredible artists who I've learned from. I'm able to, you know, stand behind them and watch them on stage and hear them speak and tell their stories. And my desire is to be as honest as some of those artists that I have witnessed perform. And so I would say that this next and last song that we're going to play is definitely one of those songs for me. Very similar in that the first song was kind of Amanda, this is your sound. You've finally found a way to be 100% honest and also have a sound that I think is authentically myself. This song is very similar in that way, and it's called Dirty Liar. You're in denial every time you smile. You don't know what is real. Or is it difficult when you see me? You don't know what to feel. Dirty liar, set 'em on fire. Walk into a room just to steal and devour. Dirty liar, aren't you tired? Lost in the ash and you're not any wiser. Dirty liar, dirty liar, You don't have a lot to say for the weight of your crimes. Caught you gunning for my life, or looking me in the eyes. Dirty liar, set 'em on fire. Walk into a room just to steal and devour. Dirty liar, aren't you tired? Lost in the ash and you're not any wiser. Dirty liar, dirty liar, Tell me, did you know? Was it all for show? Played it so well, I couldn't tell till the smoke cleared out. Tell me, did you know? Was it all for show? Played it so well, I couldn't tell till the smoke cleared out. Tell me, did you know? Was it all for show? Played it so well, I couldn't tell till the smoke cleared out. Tell me, did you know? Was it all for show? Played it so well, I couldn't tell till the smoke cleared out. Dirty liar, set 'em on fire. Walk into a room just to steal and devour. Dirty liar, aren't you tired? Lost in the ash and you're not any wiser. Dirty liar, dirty liar, dirty liar, dirty liar. That's all she wrote. Thank you so much for watching my creator sessions. This was absolutely amazing to be a part of. I would say, if I were to say anything to you creators out there, I would say hang in there, be honest, and we do this because we love it. So not that many people, I think, are able to have the opportunity to do something that they love. So I'll see y'all on stage. And if any of you guys would like to follow me on social media, my social media handles are all different because I have people who also are. Amanda Brown is the most popular name, I think, on social media. But no, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my social media handle is Amanda Leah Brown. And I would say that would probably be the best place to find me. Amanda Leah Brown, Leah on Insta. Shoot me a little DM. Say hi.